Welcome back to Navigating the Streams. I'm Mike DeLong, and I've gathered all the new movies coming to your streaming services in one place so you don't have to. I've got what's coming out this month, as well as a look back to see if I missed anything in October. It's also the start of Christmas season, so you can find a lot of your favorite classics, as well as a bunch of made-for-TV crap. Without further ado, let's see what's coming out in November. First up is Netflix. On the 1st, we have Dear Santa. It's a holiday comedy where a boy misspells the addressee on his letter to Santa, and Jack Black plays the devil to come cause some holiday chaos. On the 3rd, we have In Waves and War. It's a documentary about Navy SEALs with PTSD who find some relief with psychedelic therapy. On the 4th, we have a comedy special by Leanne Morgan called Unspeakable Things. On the 7th, we have Baramulla. It's a Hindi horror movie where a cop looks into multiple kidnappings and reveals chilling secrets and mysterious events. Also on the 7th, we have the biggest release of the month, Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro brings Mary Shelley's book to film. Continuing with the 7th, we have A Groom and Two Brides. It's an Arabic comedy where Adam tries to balance marrying his boss's daughter and reuniting with an ex. Finally, on the 7th, we have Mango. It's a Danish rom-com where a hotel manager is sent to Spain to develop a hotel on a mango farm, but unexpected emotions arise. On the 12th, we have A Merry Little Xmas. A married couple tries to celebrate Christmas one last time together with their kids, but the husband's new girlfriend makes it tense. On the 12th, we have a comprehensive look at the life of Eddie Murphy in the documentary called Being Eddie. On the 13th, we have T.I. Born to be Bad. It's a Thai drama where a police officer tries to track down two thieves, which tests the thieves' relationship. On the 14th, we have In Your Dreams. It's an animated movie where Stevie and her younger brother travel in their dreams to try to find the family of their dreams. Also on the 14th, Lefter, the story of Ordinarius. This is a Turkish docudrama where a soccer player defies his father to become a legend. And finally on the 14th, we have Nouvelle Vague. The Richard Linklater movie I thought was coming out last month is actually coming to Netflix this month. On the 17th, we have Selena y los Dinos. It's a documentary about the Tejano musician Selena from her early days to becoming a superstar. On the 18th, we have another comedy special, this one from Jerry D, called Funny You Should Say That. On the 19th, we have Champagne Problems. It's a rom-com about an executive who goes to France to buy a champagne brand, but she falls in love with a Parisian that complicates the acquisition. Also on the 19th, Son of a Thousand Men. It's a Portuguese drama about a lonely fisherman who dreams of becoming a father and finds an orphan boy. On the 21st, we have Train Dreams. This is a buzzy awards drama about the unexpected life of a logger and train worker in the early 20th century. On the 26th, we have Jingle Bell Heist. This is a rom-com about two strangers who team up to rob a department store during Christmas and accidentally fall in love. Because, of course they do. We have two things coming out on the 28th. First, Left-Handed Girl. It's a Mandarin drama about a mother and her two daughters who move to Taipei and have to navigate all the changes that go with it. And finally, on the 28th, we have Stringer. It's a documentary that reveals the truth about one of the Vietnam War's most famous photographs. A couple of things I missed on Netflix in October were a comedy special by Michelle Wolf called The Well, Babo, the Haftbefehl Story, a documentary about the German musician Babo, and Eileen, Queen of the Serial Killers, about the same serial killer that Monster with Charlize Theron was based on. And a few Netflix recommendations from me. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was a formative comedy as a young teen. The Back to the Future trilogy, Baby Driver, Zodiac, and Paddington 2. Next up is Hulu. On the 4th, we have Christmas Eve at Miller's Point. It's a holiday dramedy where a family spends what could be their last Christmas in their ancestral home. On the 6th, we have Bride or Die. It's a thriller where a lakeside bachelorette party becomes a horror when a mysterious stranger arrives. On the 7th, Sovereign comes out. It's a crime thriller where a father and son who are anti-government extremists are in a standoff with a chief of police. On the 11th, we have 55. And your guess is as good as mine on this one. There is nothing on IMDb, and it's really hard to Google just the number 55. And on the 15th, we have Osiris. This is a sci-fi thriller where commandos are abducted by aliens and find themselves in a fight for survival. On the 18th, we have Armand. This is a Norwegian drama where a mother has to deal with accusations made against her 6-year-old at school. On the 21st, one of my favorite stand-ups, Sebastian Maniscalco, has a new special called It Ain't Right. On the 22nd, we have Under Fire. This is an action thriller where 2 undercover agents from different agencies are unknowingly working the same case. On the 28th, we have Bride Hard. This is a comedy with Rebel Wilson, who's a secret agent, and the wedding she's standing up in is taken over by mercenaries. And finally, on the 30th, we have The First Omen. The prequel to The Omen has been on Prime, but is now coming to Hulu. I've got one recommendation from Hulu, The Princess Bride. I have loved this movie since I saw it in the theaters in 1987. HBO Max is next. On the 3rd, we have I'm Curious Johnny. It's a documentary about Johnny Pagozzi, a photographer who pioneered the celebrity selfie and amassed a huge art collection. On the 7th, we have Materialists. It's a rom-com about a matchmaker who has a hard time choosing between her perfect match and her ex. I like the actors and the director Celine Song, who did Past Lives, but I can't stand watching Dakota Johnson. If you haven't seen Past Lives, look for that one. I highly recommend it. On the 14th, we have Eddington. This is a dark comedy about a small-town sheriff and a mayor who square off at the height of the pandemic lockdown. Directed by Ari Aster. Ari Aster isn't for everybody, but I'm always excited to see what he does next, so I will be checking this one out. Also on the 14th, we have 1-to-1 John and Yoko. It's a documentary where we see John Lennon and Yoko Ono's life in New York City, 1972, surrounding the 1-to-1 charity concert. On the 18th, Thoughts and Prayers come out. It's a documentary about the normalization of gun violence and the consequences that it causes. On the 26th, the Mark Wahlberg crime thriller, Flight Risk, that I talked about in a previous video, now comes to HBO. Something I missed on HBO in October is the movie Weapons. If you want to hear my review, you can find it on my September reviews video. A couple of HBO Max recommendations. My favorite Christmas movie, A Christmas Story, comes out, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and the previously mentioned Past Lives will be out on HBO. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. Share it on your socials so your friends don't miss out on any new movies. Next up, we have Amazon Prime. On the 5th, Tyler Perry's Finding Joy comes out. A New York City designer is stranded in Colorado after the holidays and finds unexpected love that changes her life. On the 7th, we have The Alto Knights. It's a crime drama where betrayal and jealousy set 2 crime bosses on a deadly collision course, with Robert De Niro in 2 roles. On the 12th, Playdate comes out. It says it's a comedy, but it's got Kevin James in it, so it's probably not all that funny. Anyway, Brian unexpectedly becomes a stay-at-home dad, and he struggles with it. He meets another dad at the park, but that guy is a loose cannon. On the 14th, the Argentinian drama Belén comes out. A woman is accused of killing her unborn baby, but fights in court, leading to a movement based on a true story. On the 14th, Drop comes out. A woman's first date in years leads to harassment on her phone. This was on a different streaming service earlier in the year, but now it's coming to Prime. On the 21st, we have a comedy special by Kathleen Madigan called Family Thread. And finally, on the 26th, we have Mickey 17. The comedy that was on HBO Max is now coming to Prime. Nothing new on Peacock this month, but I do have a couple of recommendations there. I did love Bad Moms when it came out. Paddington was a big surprise for me. I also recommended Paddington 2 on another service earlier in this video. And 1001. This movie is from 2023 about a woman who kidnaps her son from the foster care system and raises him as best as she can. Paramount Plus is up next. We have one title. It's called The Cuts, but I don't have a release date for it. It's a drama where a retired boxer tries to make weight for one last shot at the title. Some older recommendations that are coming out on Paramount Plus: the Adam Sandler comedy Big Daddy, the classic awards winner Chinatown, the first pairing of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, Days of Thunder, the classic Thanksgiving movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and a little scene war movie called Rescue Dawn, which is just so good. Next up, we have Disney Plus. On the 5th, we have Fantastic Four: First Steps. The Fantastic Four must save the world from Galactus, but it's good this time. On the 7th, we have Love and War. It's a documentary about Lindsay Addario, an award-winning photographer who reflects on her career while she shoots the war in Ukraine. And finally, on the 14th, we have the movie disaster, Madam Web. It's another failed attempt to make the Sony Spider-Verse happen without Spider-Man. We got 2 things coming out on Apple TV Plus this month. On the 14th, Come See Me in the Good Light. It's a documentary about 2 poets who explore life and death after one of them is diagnosed with an incurable disease. On the 21st, we have The Family Plan 2. This action comedy is about a family trip to London for the holidays that turns into a fight for control over a criminal empire. I saw the original Family Plan, and it was fine. I didn't think it needed a sequel, but the trailer makes it look pretty funny, so I don't know if I'll check this one out or not. That's all we have for this month. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, Frankenstein is the biggest release this month. Will you be catching up with Del Toro's latest? I definitely will. My next video will be another review roundup of everything I watched in October, which is mostly catching up with some 2025 releases on streaming. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.